Well, just in a few hours, the Senate will hold a hearing about Antifa's role in riots across the country.
Texas GOP Senator Ted Cruz is chairing this hearing, and he joins us now with what we can expect. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good to see you. So, Senator, what can we expect today?
Well, this morning we're going to examine what the Constitution protects, which is the right to peaceably assemble. And we saw, starting a couple of months ago, thousands of people across the country coming out, exercising their free speech rights. You and I, we all have a right to speak and to protest. But we cross the line when we commit violence, when you assault someone else, when you firebomb a police car, when you loot and destroy a small business, when you murder a police officer, you've crossed the line, and that has got to stop. And this hearing is really focusing on how violent terrorists, how these attacks are not spontaneous, they're organized. Antifa is organizing them, the Marxist group Black Lives Matter is organizing them, and that's an important distinction there. The phrase Black Lives Matter is indisputably true. Everyone agrees with that because every life is a precious gift from God. The actual organization that has called itself Black Lives Matter is formed by avowed Marxists who are seeking to abolish the police, who are seeking to destroy the nuclear family, and that's what they say their objectives are. And this violence, we need to see concerted, real efforts so that anyone understands if you assault someone else, if you commit an act of violence, you're going to be arrested, you're going to jail, and you'll be prosecuted.
Yeah, my hope, Senator, my hope is that we're going to see who is financing these 18 to 25-year-olds who are destroying city after city. And hopefully you can unwind that, and some police officers have debriefed some of these people after they capture them, before they let them go, and get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, one of the big things that concerns you and concerns the president is having a mail-in ballot for the entire country. Absentee ballot and mail-in ballots different. Absentee, about 1 million. You're talking 100 million. Here's the president yesterday using the New York race, which is still not decided, as an example. Watch.
And if you look at the New York congressional race, which is a disaster, Carolyn, it's been a total disaster. They're 6 weeks into it now. They have no clue what's going on. And I mean, I think I can say right here and now, I think you have to rerun that race because it's a mess. Nobody knows what's happening with the ballots and the lost ballots and the fraudulent ballots, I guess. So this is a small race with literally thousands of people, small thousands, and it's all messed up.
Is this emblematic of what happened to this country on November 3rd? Senator?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
It was a good one. I'll re-ask it. Is this emblematic of what could happen November 3rd?
I think it could very well be. When it comes to elections, we want elections to be safe. We want them to be secure. We want that when you go and cast a vote, that vote count and that the integrity of the election be protected. And the problem with mail-in ballots, some people might wonder, why is this such a big fight? Mail-in ballots are particularly susceptible to fraud. In Texas, we have fairly stringent standards on when mail-in ballots are allowed. And the origins of that, you go back to the Texas legislature when they adopted those standards. It was at a time when there were a lot of Texas Democrats, and there was a lot of voter fraud, particularly in Texas Democratic primaries. And you can go back and look at the legislative history where elected Democrats in the Texas legislature were describing how mail-in ballots would be used to steal votes from unsuspecting Democratic voters, many of them African American or Hispanic, who didn't know that it was unscrupulous partisans who were stealing their votes and casting them for whatever candidate had paid them or whatever candidate had hired them to go engage in stealing votes. We see in California vote harvesting. It's the same thing where you have these unscrupulous operatives that harvest votes, and the ones they like they put in, the ones they don't disappear. That's what, sadly, the Democrats have decided to focus on. I think the president is absolutely right. We need integrity in our elections. We're sitting here 6 weeks later. We still don't know the result in New York. Imagine if that happens in the presidential race. That wouldn't be pretty, and let's not have that happen. Let's actually have people's votes count when they cast them.
Imagine, yeah. We're out of time, Senator. We'll be watching because considering Jim Clyburn denies there's any violence in Oregon, Jerry Nadler has said Antifa is a myth. It'll be very interesting to see what Democrats say in your hearing today. We'll be watching. Senator Ted Cruz, thank you very much.